Welcome, welcome, welcome. Say something again. Welcome, everybody. It's Thursday Night Live, and we're here to discuss some trending topics because it's a lot going on, and we're going to touch a little bit on Ready to Love Dallas. New episode comes on tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. What's up, sis? How you doing? Oh, wait, before you say anything, hey Blondie Monique, I wanted to give a shout out. We got a few new subscribers that I noticed we picked up. So welcome new subscribers. Get in the comments, engage with us. We are just two sisters having a chat over here about shit that's going on in the world. Okay. Like the video and share the video. Sis, what is going on?
I'm sorry, I had to mute myself because I had the link up. I had sent the link earlier, and I had it up so you can hear like an echo.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this is dumb. But anyway, what's up, everybody?
What's going on,
Thursday? Man, this week is crazy, but you know what? I'm learning a lot. I didn't even mean to go here, but like I'm learning a lot about the new me and the me that I'm like reaching up to be. I'm learning a lot about her, and she's fun. She's a fun girl, but she's not willing to take the same things that the former one was taking. So you know, I'm having conversations with people. I'm finding myself having conversations specifically with people that I work with, like introducing them to the future me. Like, hey, let's get this together, guys. Let's have a meeting.
That's right. I know that's right. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Like I don't know. I just reflected on like a lot of the things that like a year ago I was thinking about and thought I was doing, and I'm just looking now, like look at what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And look at what you thought, like how you started out, like
yeah.
It's just interesting. And I'll just close out that by saying you could do anything, okay?
For real.
Gotta believe you could do it. So
true. So true.
Anyway, so today, what's at the top of our list? Because I know your boy is not really your boy, but your boy is like on his way to get dropped off to turn.
Yes, our favorite president.
He's gonna be the very first president. Well, no, he's gonna be the very first former president to be arrested.
I'm gonna go ahead and debut. Okay, so we weren't even gonna talk about this.
Hey, fourth quarter.
I realized the other day. Hey, fourth quarter. Hey, Blondie. I realized the other day that Twitter changed its name to X.
I can't believe I didn't say anything to you about that. Yes, I don't know what that's all about.
I don't know what that's
about.
The
app changed and everything. I was like, what is this? I saw a couple of people talking about it, and I was like, what? Why? So I didn't even look to see why that happened. But so you haven't been using Twitter?
I had
it for like a couple of weeks. I think.
The thing is, I'll get like a notification or whatever, and I'll click on it, but I didn't notice that it wasn't Twitter. It would just be like I would just know like the person. And now that I think about it, it's so funny because I think I thought it was. Okay, from the notifications, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I thought it was like spam or something, but I would click it anyway because I would recognize the.
I thought it was spam, but
I was spam or something, but I would click it anyway because I would recognize.
Welcome.
I would recognize the Twitter handle. Right? It's just like, oh, I know who this is, but I don't know what this is. So it never really registered. I just kept getting notifications and I never really thought about it. It wasn't until today when I went on, or somebody said something, formerly known as Twitter. I was like, what? What's formerly known as Twitter? And they were like, X. And I was like, oh. So I like looked up on my phone. I was like, oh my God, the icon changed and everything. I've just been so taken away by work or whatever my responsibilities are. But anyway, here for everyone tonight, I've got the first look at Trump's mugshot.
Oh my God, let's see.
We're about to debut it right now. Now, nobody has seen this, but I have a hookup. And so I've seen it, and it looks just like I thought it would. But it's a real profile picture. The picture is taken from a profile. So it's really a profile picture.
Face the camera.
Huh?
I said he wasn't trying to face the camera.
It's all good. Here it is, everybody.
Oh my God.
Is so funny to me. Obviously,
the crazy thing is like how you can make stuff like that and you know exactly what the people are talking about. Like that is I will never look at a banana again the same.
That is hilarious. And the bologna or whatever it is, salami, I don't know what kind of meat that is. It looks like bologna or something.
That is crazy.
But anyway, everybody's waiting. And
he is going to have a mugshot, though.
Like, the hashtag for this is hilarious to me. Like, people are, look, this is how people are looking for the mugshot. People are waiting. Oh my God, there's people outside Fulton County Jail right now.
Yeah, so shout out to Mocha. Mocha Mima is doing a live right now, and it's called Live Trump Watch. And so we watch the cars, that he's in, ride along the road, just like when they followed. I was about to say something else, just like when they follow our boy OJ. So
only Black people will be standing outside of a daggone jail.
All of those people are not Black, are they?
Yeah, this says Blacks for Trump are outside.
Oh, Lord, I thought those were people like welcoming him in for his stay.
No, this says Trump 2024.
Oh, but you know what? Okay, so while I was over there listening to Mocha, they did on that news station say that there was some type of poll. There was some type of poll they did about who, like, will people vote him in again, and like majority of the people said yes, they would still vote for him.
Yeah, I see. So, people don't care. People just do not care. And you know what?
I mean, but some would say that the stuff that he did was more than Obama did, like, in office. So I can't say that he wouldn't have a chance to win again, because the world that we live in right now,
yeah,
George Jetson could be president next time. You know what I mean?
Okay, you said?
I said George Jetson.
George Jetson. That guy owes me $20. Anyway, we're not gonna get into that. Actually, he owes me some Bitcoin, but we're gonna talk about that. Anyway, no, okay. I just wanted to say I had to take that stuff off of there because there was people that was Twitter and or X, excuse me, and I didn't, anything goes over there. So there was
I don't like
happening. I'm like, okay, I don't even know.
Did you see X today? What I need to go look and see how they came up with that.
And then the website is like x.com, which I didn't even know was a real opportunity for like a website. X.com.
Right. One letter.
Oh, it goes to twitter.com. I said Twix. I want to call it Twix.
I mean, that means they have that domain. So,
hey, listen, it's cool. Okay, so to our real topics, because that's just something that's happening. And shout out to Mocha, like you said, that's over there covering that, because I am not gonna lie, I am curious about the mugshot.
Everyone's waiting for the mugshot.
I kind of want to see it.
I can tell you right now, like, I watch YouTube a lot, so I watch a bunch of different things, and I guarantee you that there'll be several videos of people showing the mugshot as soon as it's available.
It's gonna be so many jokes. It's gonna be so many jokes. I can't wait to see that. So anyway, okay. So I have to talk about. Did I ask you how your week was?
I don't know, but I'll be short and sweet. My week was, I don't know. It seemed like it was long, but it went by fast. So I can't believe tomorrow's Friday. I did accomplish a lot. But I had one of those weeks where I had a lot mentally going on, trying to put this over here, and making sure I don't forget about this. And so that felt like, I guess that's kind of what made it a long week or whatever. But other than that, my week's been like blessed and productive, and I would say eye-opening. So I'm not really eye-opening like I'm shocked, but like I've been able to come to a few conclusions about stuff that I was stuck on with my business. I've been able to like just kind of work some things out that were, I had to write it out and all of that, just a whole bunch of moving parts to it. And just now I have a better understanding of shit that I wasn't even thinking about last year, thinking I was doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's so funny how you get the new information and it's like, what was I know?
Now the information that we got from like a lot of those little networking things that we did, now I have to go back to that and be like, I know what to do with this now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because a lot of times, like, it is very good to keep learning stuff and like keep, working on skills and stuff like that. But a lot of times when you do come across good information, sometimes you don't know what else to do but fucking hold it. It's like, okay, that's really good, and I know that I need it, but like the piece that's always missing from those courses and stuff like that is how to really put it together, how to really put it together for you to understand how to execute it. Because a lot, like I said, I got a lot of valuable information that I just didn't know what to do with it. But over the last course of this year, with the help of my business coach, shout out to Tia, and on Facebook is Growth and Goal. If you guys are looking for, if you're just starting a business and you're looking for a business coach, she helps people get clear on their vision. So that's kind of where it started for me, and then it just kept rolling from there. But anyway, my week was good. How was your week?
It was good. I feel like you know, I kind of said it earlier, like I feel good about it. You know, onwards and upwards. Nothing bad, but everything good. And one of the things I'm realizing is that I learned a lot of information, and sometimes I find myself second guessing things like, oh, well, how long is it going to take, or this or that? And it's just like, that doesn't even matter. And it's so funny because you start to second guess yourself before you even start something. And this is what I've been doing. And it's just like, well, you didn't even use the information yet. So what if it is right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I just am thinking about things differently now because I'm like, yeah, it does work. You just have to put it to use, right? And that's what I've been second guessing. Like, what if it doesn't work? Well, it probably will, but you have to try it first.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
I did that I guess a couple of reels ago, I did that video about that, but I got it from your father because he sent me an American Idol, like an old American Idol thing. And I don't know if you remember this. I can't remember the girl's name, but she was so like scared. She didn't tell anybody that she was coming to audition, and she came there and she sang. Did she sing My Funny Valentine, which is a hard song to sing? I think she sang My Funny Valentine. She sang that song, okay, to the point where everybody said yes. Even Simon said yes. You know what I mean? But it was like when they talked to her, asked her like if she had anybody with her, she was like, no, I didn't tell anybody. She was basically counting herself out before she even tried it. And I was like, that kept coming up for me too, because when I first started, it was a whole bunch of things that I was counting myself out for before I even started my business. And it was like, why are you doing that? Nobody told you couldn't do that. All you have to do is do A, B, and C. Like, what the hell? So yeah, definitely do not count yourself out if you haven't even like started a little bit. Like, just start.
Isn't that funny? Because the idea that you might not make it doesn't mean that you wouldn't have gotten value out of doing the steps, out of doing what you love to do, out of exploring something, right? So like that's the whole goal. And it's like so funny to me because I'm starting to see that in myself, but like I'm definitely one of those people who's like second guessing, like, oh, but what if it doesn't work out like this? If it doesn't work out like this, you'll find another way. Or you went and, got the t-shirt, so that's good. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no bad side to it.
No, you're gathering data because you're gonna know what didn't work. You're gonna know what did work. You know what I mean? So it's like that's the for anything, whether it's starting something new, like a workout routine, starting a new diet, starting a new job. Like people hold themselves back out of fear of failure. Like, so what if you do fail? The people who are successful didn't just do it one time and then it happened. I mean, yeah, there are some anomalies out there that maybe that happen, but for the most part, people tried a whole bunch of different stuff before they found something that they were really good at or whatever, or became good at something or whatever. So yeah, anyway, I was about to sidetrack us, so I don't want to do that. But anyway, like I said, check out Growth and Goal on Facebook. She helps small business owners get their first or next client and reach their business goals. Okay. And she is very good because your girl was in her own way. All right. Anyway, that's all I'll say about that. Shout out to Tia. Love you, girl. Anyway.
Yes, shout out to you.
Anyway, go ahead.
Is it Sha'Carri Richardson?
Yes, Sha'Carri Richardson.
Sha'Carri, okay, because I keep, whenever I overthink it, I say it wrong. Sha'Carri Richardson is now the fastest woman on record.
I know that's right.
I was so excited to see this. Like the whole video just brought me so much joy, and like I'm just gonna pop up the I'm gonna pop up like the still shot they got. I know there was probably hundreds of people out there taking thousands of pictures. And this is a really good one. I really like this one, so I'm gonna share this with everybody. But it's just a testament to people who don't give up. You know what I'm saying? I love this picture. I love this picture.
You know how hard you gotta work to be like that good? Like,
yes,
yes.
He ran this in 10.6 seconds. Listen, I gotta be honest. I didn't look at the seconds or nothing. I was just watching the actual foot race of her with the other women. So the first thing, and I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it because this is what I was thinking.
The foot race.
Yeah, that's right, everyone. I'm old. I say things like foot race and Thursday. I can hear myself say stuff like, how did that come out of your mouth? How old are you? But anyway, I love this photo. This is like so dope to me. And first of all, I just noticed the Tina Turner arm right there. And I mean, wow. But she's the world's fastest woman. I didn't notice the time, actually. I'm just reading this right now that it was 10.65 seconds. But what's funny to me is, like, as I was watching it, the first thing I thought was like, oh, this is a lot of Black women. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I was just like excited about that. I was like, look at all these fastest women in the world. And most of them are Black. There was one lady on the far end, like on the inside, who unfortunately lost. I don't know what place she came in, but I was looking at how fast everybody was moving, and then the one person who stuck out was her to me, because I was like, oh, this person, like, all these bodies are moving mad fast and they're all tan, and then there's this one, right? And that's
I mean, how far behind them was she?
I mean, it was a quick race. Like, it wasn't that far, but
I didn't see the race, but she could still be fast though. But
she's probably fast. You can't be in that race without being one of the fastest, right?
No, but it makes you feel like you're so much slower when
man, that happens. I would hate to be racing against this one right here, or running from a bear with her. It's like, damn. Well, prayers up, prayers going up.
There you go. Oh my God.
Anyway, she's 23 years old. A lot of people remember when she, was supposed to be in the last Olympics, which I think, I was just looking this up, and I think what I saw was that, so I knew it was the Tokyo Olympics. I could not remember which year it happened in, because I didn't feel like it happened last year, but I guess it did happen in 2022. I don't remember. Listen,
I feel like it was 2021, but maybe it was early 2021.
It might have been 2021. I just don't.
But it could be 2022, but just early 2022, because we felt like it was older. But if they're saying 2022, maybe it was like the beginning of 2022. I can't remember exactly when it was either.
Guys, I'm going to look it up, but just know that I don't remember right now, and I'm not going to pretend to. Okay? So anyway, she won the 100 meter, and here's what she said. Let me just say what she said, because this is so dope. First of all, this picture is just never going to go away to me. That's a beautiful picture. She was all in her feelings. Here's what she said, because she's endured a lot since she wasn't able to compete. And she says that now she does it for herself. She says she's ready mentally, physically, and emotionally. Oh man, where is that quote? She was like, oh, this is what's different about her. She's focused on herself. I'm not worried about the world anymore. I've seen the world be my friend, and I've seen the world turn on me. But at the end of the day, I've always been with me. God has always been with me. So being on this scale now, it's my time. It's like, I get it. She's back. She's not taking no. Look at this face, young. She's serious, everybody. She's coming for it.
She been waiting.
And I love the Jamaican team, because they be over there laughing and kikiing it up with her. And I think they probably all friends. But they all knew coming in. They're like, oh, she's going to take this. They've all seen her run. You know what I'm saying? They've all seen her run, and they were all prepared for her to win this foot race. That's right. I got to say foot race, everybody. It was a foot race.
Foot race. What the hell? Fourth quarter says she's a beast and made a great comeback. People turned on her. It's good to see her winning. Yes.
Yes. That's absolutely a great comment. Thank you very much for that comment, sir. Whoever you are out there on the internet.
Hey Mocha, I was just talking about your live that you were doing about this Trump watch.
Yes, Trump watch
shout out to Mocha.
2023. Hey Mocha.
Did we have a mugshot yet? Or has he touched down yet? Well, I don't know. Is he in there? Did they drop him off? Did he turn himself in? Mocha could let us know in the chat.
Yeah, because he's supposed to have been there at 7:30, so we'll see what happens. Or what happened. I'm sure he already did if she's over here because she would be covering it, right? Like it must have happened.
It might still. I mean, I think she's still live though, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh wow, what a multitasker! You're right.
Anyway,
okay. So listen. Oh, no mugshot yet. He's on the way to the airport. Okay, guys.
Oh, okay. Oh, so we still got some time. Okay.
We'll probably stop and do a rally in between. Okay, so listen, here's some other good news, and then we're gonna talk about some interesting news, and then we're gonna get into Ready to Love. So both Rihanna and Serena Williams are welcoming their new babies. I think Rihanna had I don't know what she had. And that news broke, but it says she had her baby earlier in the month. Serena had her baby like 2 days ago or something like that. Okay. Yeah, I'll share
what's this for Rihanna? Is this 2 or 3?
This is the second one for Rihanna.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is their family. And they're so cute together. And this is the baby. Adira is the name. So Adira River Ohanian. So that's very cute. They look so happy. Look at this little girl. I don't know her name. What's her first daughter's name? I don't know the first daughter's name, but she is like ready, yo. She's like, hey, everybody, take my picture. So that's really cute. As far as Rihanna, we're not gonna see no pictures of that baby until she's ready for us to see it. Because I remember it took a long time for them to show us the first baby.
I mean, because listen, we live in an era where you can like everything is public. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like with the celebrities, like they have to have in order to have some semblance of privacy, they have to like, do stuff like that. Because they know everybody's looking for it. Everybody's waiting to like put it on thumbnails for videos and put it on their blog site and stuff. So, but I bet it's cute.
I know it's cute, and she's just so cute. Like she's probably the cutest pregnant person I've ever seen in my life. Like she'd be taking these pictures, and it's like I remember when she was pregnant with his name is RZA. I was just like, oh. I was like, wow, who knew that somebody could look this good pregnant? So, no hope for me, but that's fine.
Whatever.
Okay, so now we're going to get into some more interesting news. So, one of our favorites was actually featured on Dear Future Wifey. I'm just going to play. Yeah. I'm not going to play the sound, but I'm just going to play the background or whatever.
You still got okay, never mind.
Yeah, so this is
look at Kojo.
Yeah. And he's so funny. I was looking at
tell he felt spicy that day. He probably was like, yeah.
I was looking at this outfit he got, y'all. This outfit is funny. And he all the way down to the sandals. I was like, I could see him swagging out with his Kojo, listen, that's a blouse, okay? That's what
my God.
In America. But she looked nice. But he had his slides on. I was like, oh, he's so funny. He's not from here though. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I can tell that he really was feeling himself that day.
It was good. And the conversation. Okay.
Joba said he is so African.
yeah. He's from Ghana, right? Or he's Guyana. Yeah, he's Guyana.
Yeah, he lives in the UK.
I appreciate his honesty. I just gotta say that I knew this was gonna happen. Like,
I only saw half of this interview, right? Yeah. And then I saw Kojo's review of his own interview. But I haven't finished the interview, and I have to go back and finish the interview. So don't tell me what happened at the end. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for everybody else, I guess, and keep the information because I haven't seen it. But anyway, okay, fine. Go ahead.
No, this is it's interesting because
that's a blouse.
It's what?
I'm laughing at what you said.
Me?
Yeah, because you said we call that what we call that in a.
Oh yeah, sure. He's okay with that. That wasn't the thing.
Ghana, born in
That was because I'm sure he loves that. He didn't wear that for any other reason. He loves that shirt, and he can have it open like he liked to have his shirt open. He's real funny. But I really do appreciate. I do appreciate. Yeah, his little chesticles. He be having that cleavage out. But sorry, this is just like the in thing commercial. But I'm not playing the thing because obviously we're gonna put this down in the link, whatever. But I really appreciated the honesty of this conversation. It was so refreshing to hear the two of them talk like very candidly and openly like that. I feel like that's what's missing from our, community sometimes. It's like you don't get to hear Black men talk like this intimately as far as like their thoughts and their feelings and like what makes them shut down and stuff. And I just thought that was so dope that like I feel like a lot of the things he was saying, now he has a very unique path. Like he has a very unique situation with all the stuff that his mom was going through. But as far as him just saying certain things like how he shuts down after a few years in a relationship, and he talked about the way that his father taught him how to be, which was like non-emotional. So he basically treated his father back like that. Like, come on, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like
I did see that part. I did see that.
It was very, it was refreshing because there's a lot of stuff that he said that were like aha moments to me as far as like men in general that not even just like I've dealt with, but like just in life, just like, oh, this is how they think. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes sense. I'm not saying everybody thinks like that, but like there were things that I felt like, oh, I just was appreciative for the honesty. And also, and his unique story and the way that he reacted to, the things that he went through with his mom as a, having been, he talked about her being schizophrenic and how that affected him and some of the things that happened in his childhood. And he drew it back into how it affects his current dating life. And that was so eye-opening because I could see the connection of like how people process trauma. He really got honest there and said at one point like, oh no, I don't want to unpack that. No, it's fine. It's fine where it is. And he talked about kind of like being distant from his parents, but just being okay with it. Like, oh, she's fine. You know what I mean? Like, and then fine, we're fine.
Yeah, I think that was the part that I got to when he was talking about when Latarius kind of interrupted and asked, well, if something happens to them or whatever, like you probably would like lose it or whatever. He was like, yeah, I might feel, or he said break down. And he's like, I might, but that's not how I'm going to feel at the time or something like that.
How I feel right now. Yeah. I completely was so appreciative of that honesty because it's like some people like not trying to compare people, but there are people that we see in the media who will, just stay far away from the truth. They'll just say whatever sound they think sounds good so that they can win people's approval or whatever they're looking for. I don't know these people's motives, but what I'm saying, like, you can tell people are lying. So, and it feels icky, right? But when somebody is dishonest, it feels good. And I can't really say that, like, he wasn't saying things that were aspirational. Like, he was saying some real, like, stuff that he's going through that like, oh yeah, probably, this isn't going to work out like this. I know, but this is where I am right now and it's okay with me. And I was like, wow, that's dope. If more people could do that, like even me included, like we could probably get further in our friendships and our relationships, like working with people and our, in all types of relationships. So I just thought that was really interesting. And this one part when he talked about not wanting to unpack, he said he didn't want to talk about what he had went through, like some of the specifics, because it was basically buckled up. It was locked away. So listen, we're not opening that. Because
if you open that, then you got to open this, and he knows the path.
It's going to require me to do some, we're not going there. And it was like so funny to me because I was like, I've gotten to that point in relationships before where it's like, let me into this door right here. And it's like, no. no way we're going in there. Not together, not.
Oh my gosh.
You're not getting in there. And it's like, oh, okay. So I appreciated that sort of viewpoint. And I think a lot of men are this way. I mean, like fathers, brothers.
Well, yeah, I think that men are able to compartmentalize stuff better than women. Everything is going on in our head, you know. For them, it's like, okay, you know, a little bit different. But I'm going to jump in real quick because I didn't see the whole thing, but I did see most of the parts that you just talked about. This, like, I love Dear Future Wifey's podcast because, I mean, I've been watching that podcast for a while. And just the interviews that are on there, the conversations that are on there, he asks good questions. And he is kind of like a safe space because he's not going to be malicious. You know what I'm saying? And so he really asks the questions that get people to, you know, kind of talk. Now, Kojo is also a great interviewer. Like, he knows how to ask the right questions, you know, like especially behavior wise and background wise. But now I understand a little bit more about why, because he's probably done some of that work on himself as well. And, you know, we all have work to do, but like, and the fact that I know that he's like a coach or whatever, you know, his thought process. So he does great interviews. So I was excited to see this interview because I was like, oh, I know it's going to be a good conversation. And I'm so mad that I didn't get to finish it, but it's interesting. And he probably knows that, you know, he has to be, as an interviewer, he wants people to be real with him. So I believe he went there his authentic self, and they had a great conversation. I can't wait to watch the end of it. But yeah, it is refreshing to see men talk openly like that about how they're feeling and what they're struggling with. But it's not like as a majority, there are, you know, they are able to go to certain people without being emasculated as a whole, right? Like as a big majority, like you have people that can go to women in their lives and things like that to be open like that. But a lot of it is not, I don't even know whether I want to say accepted or received, you know, the way that it could be received. But we do need more conversations like that. And so I'm glad he had that conversation. And while I'm talking about that, I wanted to shout out Tyrone Wilson from also another cast member. Well, not also another cast member, but y'all know we talk about the cast members a lot. Kojo might as well be a cast member. But anyway, Tyrone did a men's mental health panel like a couple of weeks ago. And on that panel was Tyrone, P.O. was on there, J-Dub was on there, Phil from Ready to Love was on there. I think Sean came through too. But they were talking about things like that as well, like, and you know how not having their moms around affected them and like different things or whatever, like conversations that you don't hear men have. Yeah, it was kind of similar to this conversation because they were being authentic. So if y'all haven't caught that and you like conversations like that, definitely go check out Tyrone's channel because I think they're gonna probably do it again if they haven't done it again already. But this conversation kind of resonated with me like that. I only saw a half hour of it though, but I gotta go back and watch it. But anyway, yeah, shout out to Kojo, shout out to Dear Future Wifey, Lateris of the Dear Future Wifey podcast, because I think they do great content. Like it's just that content that makes you think and make you be able to relate and understand, even if you're not going through that, you know. So anyway, I'm off my soapbox.
No, that's great. That's all great. And it's like, it's really leading into the next point too. But also it's just like, I think these are the conversations that are missing that need to also be part of the conversation that other people are having, right? Because it's like, we all have conversations, like obviously women have conversations, and then we talk about with the red pill community or whatever, and they're having conversations, but these kinds of conversations are needed because we don't really hear that many of them,
like, and because we don't know that they're thinking like that sometimes. Like we think differently as women, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I want to read some of these comments real quick. Blondie Monique says the part about the kitchen was interesting. Yeah, I heard him say that he doesn't like narrow kitchens before, but I didn't get the full scope yet because I didn't finish watching the video.
Do you want me to say what it was?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I don't want to ruin it for you though.
I'm still gonna watch it. Okay,
well, he was talking about how
Oh, he said it was everything everywhere.
Yeah, he was like, she used a lot of stuff, like even with her carpentry work that she would do, she would just leave stuff everywhere. And he was like, it wasn't normal. It wasn't a regular amount of mess. So he was like, it used to be exhausting to like have to constantly clean up behind somebody. So now he just despises narrow kitchens for that reason. But it's so funny. I was so glad he was able to pinpoint into that, because I'll bet there are certain things that all of us do just based on like what we experience. Like, oh, I hate big dogs or whatever. I don't hate big dogs, but I'm just saying, like, I know people who hate big dogs because they had a dog situation when they were young, and it's like that scared them forever. So it's just like one of those things. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, and so, I can think of a couple of things, whatever. It made me, things like that make me think about, what am I doing that I could change that I don't know? Because sometimes we don't know that things are creating those kind of emotional scars or whatever, Like, I was watching Troyce. I don't know if you guys know who Dustin Troyce is, Troyce TV. He is a vlogger, and he does like, he kind of does a little bit of everything. He does some exposed stories, but he's very like, he has a dry, sarcastic sense of humor, but he was talking about his parents and how strained that relationship was. And he was saying that his father, when he was little one time, his father used to make them eat food that he didn't really like. And one time he put some food in his mouth and he didn't like it. And he kind of like started to like throw up a little bit. Yeah. And it was a little bit of throw up in his mouth. And his father told him to come here. And he was like, he went over there and he told him, he's like, I want you to swallow it, or I want you to drink it. And like stuff like that is very traumatic. I mean, not that that's what Kojo was going through, but they don't, things that will, I'm sure he was just in his mind.
Traumatic.
But I mean, in his mind, he was like, just do this. They're not thinking that it's going to cause some type of problem down the line when they become an adult. And then you don't even get to fix those things until you realize there's a problem. You feel what I'm saying? Because people who actively understand what their trauma things are, or what things are that they're trying to struggle with, they want to work on them. Even if they're not working on them, if you're aware of them, it's so much better. It's like a scratch on your arm. It's going to heal if you leave it. It'll heal if you, leave it alone. But if you never mind. I'm not even going to do that, because, I'll go off in an analogy quick. But the point is, you have to be aware of it, and so that awareness is like, is just, it's actually, dare I say, attractive. I'm not saying that I'm attracted to Kojo, but I'm saying that kind of emotional intelligence. If more men would be open to being authentic and real about that, like a lot of things would go different.
I'm saying, let's go ahead and put that out there in the universe. That is an attractive thing. It's not, like you said, it's not the person that we're saying objectifying the person. We're talking about the action of being that vulnerable to be able to stand in your truth and be like, yeah, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we all have issues. Like when we were coming up as kids, you don't have any, domain like ruling over yourself as far as like where you're going to go, what you're going to do. Like you just go through whatever the process is that's set forth in your household until you get old enough to create your own household and change those things. But some things just kind of, it's crazy. But Mocha says, I can identify with what he said because I don't speak to my mother at all because of her disrespect. And see, like she probably doesn't realize how detrimental that is. You know what I mean? And you as a child had to just kind of come up with your own way of doing life without that. You know what I mean? So
I can understand that. I mean, not from...
You gotta protect your peace. Sorry.
No, that was my fault. I had cut you off. So no, but I was just reacting to that comment. I can identify with what he said because I don't speak to my mother because of disrespect. We all know disrespectful people. I would only imagine that, like that's a difficult situation. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, that's tough. So then, sorry, continue. My bad.
Oh no, Mocha said Kojo's a Cancer like her. Okay, Mocha's a Cancer, Kamisha's a Cancer, Kojo's a Cancer. I don't know who else is a Cancer. I know one Aries, and that's gonna be Crystal Lynette. Who else is an Aries, y'all? What other content creators is it? Anyway, look at me, just like an Aries, only care about myself. Anyway,
who's an Aries? Everybody else sit down.
But Aquarius is, I know James is Aquarius and you're an Aquarius.
Yes. I haven't checked out his podcast. I don't think I've only seen his lives. I've not seen
no, I think she's talking about Dear Future Wifey. I mean, the podcast, well, I don't know.
My bad.
To me, a podcast could be audio or video.
Yeah.
But I think she was talking about the
Okay, my bad.
Tyrone, that was a good one too. Yeah, man, I was over there the whole time and I was just like, loving the fact of how vulnerable they were, how they stepped up to each other when they could tell that there was an emotional moment when they start talking about, losing their mothers or whatever. It's not like they were like women and all weepy, but you could tell that it was some hard stuff to say. And virtually they were able to, collectively have stand and support for the dudes that they were, and it was just great. I, as a female watching it, I was just like, this is great. You know what I mean? Because we don't get to see men talk like that, and for them to do it in front of the world, which you never know who's going to come across it and try to judge you. They helped a lot of people probably though. But anyway, but yes, shout out to Tyrone again, because I feel like that, like I said, that kind of stuff is attractive because they are being real, like human. They're going through human shit. You know what I mean?
Let me say it again for the people in the back. That is an attractive thing. I don't feel like that's said enough. I don't want that to like be missed. It's an attractive thing. It's an attractive thing in a lot of relationships, not just in romantic relationships, but in friendships. It's like I can't tell you how many, it's not how many, but like the friendships get really good when people start speaking their truth. Like, you know what? I just can't do it. I can't do this. And this is how I feel about this. It's like, I'm really getting to the meat of who you are. And I love it because you're not saying what it is to be popular or to be, well-liked. It's like, this is who I am. I'm standing in it. This is how it is. And take it or leave it. And that is just such an attractive and desirable thing for another human to experience with you. So when somebody's telling their truth, especially if it's a little ugly, because that's when it's like, oh, welcome.
I mean, you think that you're going through stuff on your own, but just because, we're all not having the same lifestyles or the same set of struggles, like you can relate or support somebody that is going, you just have this better, I don't know, when you relate like that, and I'm not talking about trauma bonding, but when you see a person that's openly aware to acknowledge their flaws and that they're working on them. Yeah. That respect. You know what I'm saying? Respect, because you're not walking around here acting like, oh, everything's honky dory or whatever. You're like, yeah, I'm doing this too, one day at a time. You know what I mean? Yeah. I got some respect for that. Yeah. Blondie Monique says, I'm scared of all dogs because of a childhood neighbor's dog. Oh my God. I literally freak out if a dog approached me. I literally freak out if a dog approached me. I've gotten a little better because of my sister and friend's dog. So, okay, what I want to know, Blondie, is it all dogs, like even little tiny dogs? like the little 6 pound, 7 pound one I got? But she did say all dogs. But just a quick story. Do you remember? No, because you probably was 3 or 4. I knew you was going to bring something up like this.
Yeah, because my childhood with a dog in the neighborhood.
You don't?
Wait, I remember a few dogs. I remember a dog in North Carolina.
Cause I don't know. Okay, I don't. The dog in North Carolina, yeah, Red. Red was blind. She was like a little beagle dog, like one of them little hot dogs or whatever. And then Vicky had Chico, who was a big husky, who ended up having a situation with Red, and they had puppies, which was crazy because they were like so different in size. But that wasn't what I was about to say. What I was about to say was, what you had to be like 3 or 4 though, because when we lived in these apartments and like we had to walk to school or whatever, and every day, well, I don't even know if you were walking to school, but I remember every day when I got to a certain part of this street, we would have to run. I even jumped on top of a car one time to get away from somebody's dog or whatever. Anyway, I don't even know why. But anyway, I feel you. I'm scared of big dogs. Yeah. Little dogs, I'm cool with. But as soon as even when I walk him outside and I see somebody with a big dog, I'll be like, Lord, if they don't have a hole on their dog, you know what I'm saying? Break all 4 of his legs before he gets to us. but yeah, but I feel you on that, Blondie.
Yeah,
Blondie's the
so I remember
Cancer.
you had a dog story because there was a couple of times where we were in situations where we either had to like walk past somebody's fence with a dog or encounter some big dog. It's always some big like Rottweiler or something like that I'd be remembering. Like, oh, we have to encounter a dog, and I always remember you having a problem. Like, look, I'm not playing while we
I
do
have a
this.
ghetto dog.
She would always be like, listen, she would get real serious when we were kids and like into our like sort of adolescent years. So she would just get real serious when it came to dogs. Like, look, we get ready to walk. Like, look, you know what I'm saying? Focus. And I just always remember that because I never had a dog situation, but I think you must have had something happen.
Well, I never got attacked by a dog, but I did run from a lot of dogs because I was a tomboy, y'all, and I used to jump fences and everything. Not that I'm proud of that, but I was not afraid to jump on somebody's car if a dog was chasing my ass. I still would do it to this day, okay? Because like I said, when I be walking him, I already got a little plan in my head. If I see some dog coming, I know this hand gonna go down and swoop him up like this, and then I'm getting on the closest vehicle. I'm just picturing that whole thing. I hope I never have to do that. But
listen, I hope you never have to do it too. But it's good that you can if you have to. As long as you have to be able than not.
Oh my God. Blondie says, I'm a Cancer, 7-11. Okay. I cannot believe that. They're all Cancers. That's funny. So Mocha says she hates egg salad because that was a punishment meal.
Oh,
egg salad was a punishment meal? Oh my goodness. We used to have egg salad, but we loved egg salad.
And the fact the moment I heard you say egg salad, I was like, now I have to go have some at some point this weekend. Because now it's like in my head, like I never think about that. Well, sometimes I'll be like, oh, what are we gonna have for lunch? And I never think about that, but now that you've said egg salad.
That's funny. My God, Blondie, I feel like I need to apologize to you because I just put the dog on the screen, but you know it can't get you from here. But she says, yes, it was a mean chihuahua that chased them. She's scared of all dogs. She would scream even if the dog didn't bark at her. It's like her brain reacts before she realizes the dog isn't going to do anything.
Right.
And you know what? They, especially now that, well, this is the first dog I had, but just this, oh my God, this dog is a Cancer. His birthday is July 17th or something like that. Party. And he is very emotional and dare I say needy. But anyway, I might be reaching there, but dogs don't really have emotions. But anyway, like what I noticed about him is that he can read the energy of the room really well. You know what I'm saying? He can tell through his sense of smell a lot of stuff. I guess all dogs are like that, obviously, but he, you can just tell. If I start clapping and even if I'm not making no sound, but I'm like, he can read my energy. He knows, he just kind of knows certain things or whatever. So when you see a dog, it's so hard to act like you're not scared. Even when you're scared, because they're gonna sense the fear anyway. That made me think about that. But okay. Blondie is, I feel you on that. That makes me also, y'all know I got stories for days. King's father was not very nice. You know what I'm saying? He was like a growler and everything. And so, but he was cute though. He just wasn't, he didn't want nobody to be messing with him.
Is he still alive?
I don't know because last I heard, I think that Chris gave him to somebody. So,
well, hopefully everybody's all right. Okay. Anyway, listen.
The King is fine and he's spoiled and he's emotional. Okay.
Anyway. I love me some King Paddington. Okay.
He's freaking spoiled. It's ridiculous.
We've moved on. We appreciate Kojo and Laterris. I definitely think everybody should take a moment to look at that. And I think it's one of those ones that I'm actually going to go back and watch again because there was so many things, so many gems, like throughout the conversation. It's like sometimes you realize like you didn't hear something or like something that you want to go back and be like, yeah, like I understand that, I experienced it too. So I might go back and watch that one.
Yeah, shout out to them. And I think that the reason why for me the Kojo interview was, well, like I said, I haven't watched it all yet, but I know it's going to be bomb. I know my mind is not going to change. But one of the reasons is that, like I said, if y'all have not watched, and I know everybody here has probably already seen a bunch of Kojo interviews, but if you haven't ever watched him talk about anything. It doesn't even have to be an interview, but he has a unique approach when he is breaking stuff down, and a lot of times he has a lot of good points. But on the interview specifically, he's able to like just really kind of dig. And I think because he has that skill to perform his own interviews when he was being interviewed, like I think he already knew what he had to give. I think he already like knew, I'm just gonna go in here and I'm gonna be me. And I like I said, shout out to him for that. Shout out to him for that. Anyway, all right, onward and upward.
You know what's funny? That's actually a great segue into what we're about to talk about, because as we're looking at Ready to Love, and we're kind of going to go back over some of the stuff we witnessed last week, but a lot of the highlights that I appreciate about these shows, it comes from the interviews, the takeaways from the post-season interviews, when people are saying like, oh, this is what was happening behind the scenes, this is what production was telling us to do, this is why this came off like that, what you didn't see was this. I get so much from that, and that's kind of like what Kojo does along with others in the community like Crystal XO, Kamisha reviews, and others, right? So it's like I really get a lot more out of, and we were just talking about this before we started, I get so much out of the interviews more than I do of the actual show, actually, which is really interesting to me, because it's like the only reason I would watch the interview was because I saw the show. But the thing that keeps me going back to the show is what's explained in the interviews. So it's like they go hand in hand, but I learn more from the interviews than from the show, because sometimes the show is giving you not what actually happened. Or not,
because see, it's a crazy dynamic, because before the show is even filmed, right, somebody has written out a storyline, and now they have to film this cast with these characters and see if their storyline can play out.
Wow.
Right? And then they get all the footage, and then they probably tweak the storyline and be like, all right, so let's go this route.
Yeah.
Right. And so then we, the audience, get the show. And so we can try to pick through it to see, okay, this probably happened like this, knowing a little bit of background of how they do it now. It's like, okay, this probably happened. But those post-season interviews, now, this year, a lot of people are doing interviews like while the show is airing, and sometimes it's necessary because stuff needs to be clarified immediately if they can speak on it. But those post-season interviews are going to be really, really good, because one, we'll have watched the whole season, and two, they can freely speak. And so I will say that, I know there's a certain pocket of people who follow the interviews. A lot of people only watch the show, right? And, nobody has time to watch everything. I do get that. However, some of the things on the show, like you said, are not even true. Like the conclusion that it would have you draw is not a right answer. So understand entertainment, and in order to get the full understanding on some of these things, you have to be on the lookout for those post-season interviews. But that's just me.
Which is wild, because like you said, you had articulated earlier before we started, it's like some people don't even watch the interviews, so they're actually coming away maybe not even with what was intended to be the storyline, but some weird ass other realm story of what was pieced together,
or judgment about a person.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing to me is the cast as a whole usually seems to be more upset with the people who are talking about what they are being shown from OWN than the producers who are making them look
like that. Which is really interesting, because maybe they're not, okay, because, well, here's the bottom line. If they're able to piece together a story with some of your actions, then you have to be real about that, right? Like, oh, even though I don't think I come off like that, and even though that's a very intense, satirical, it's not a non-reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, somewhere in some realm of the universe that happened. You know what I mean? And they got it on film. And now we're here holding you accountable for it. And I think some people are like, no, like they're just rejecting that whole scenario. Like, no, that's not what happened at all. This is just your viewpoint. There's no way that you could ever get this. But it's like, no, well, actually, I've seen the footage and they were showing you like this, and this is why we think this. But I think some people are so far removed from the possibility that they are acting in this way somehow. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's being, you know, exaggerated, or maybe something happened that made you react that way. But this is the footage that we're watching. So if it in any way relates to the conversation that's being had, then it's not a lie, right? I think some people are so against their own storyline that they're not even willing to like accept anything.
But my thing is like, I don't know. I just, the way that I think about stuff is in, you know, where was the starting point? So let me go
how did we get here?
Yeah, so like I can't really see myself and I'm not in the situation, so you know, things could change, but at today, this is what I'm saying. Like, I can't really see myself being upset for somebody sharing their opinion about what they saw on TV. Even if they're wrong, they are only going off of the information they have. And if they don't have all the information, that's really not their fault because they weren't there, right? Yeah. So I can't direct anger over there. Who made this shit? Like,
right.
Who was there in the room that knows that I didn't say this and I didn't mean this, and you edited out this word and you did that? Who was responsible for that? Because that's the person that I want to have an attitude with. That's kind of how I would look at it. But I do understand it's kind of hard to see people talking about stuff and they're wrong, but you can't really, I mean, telling them that they don't know what they're talking about and they should, it's, you know, it just goes too far sometimes for, they're just giving their commentary off of what they've been shown, and you and the producers set that up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know. It just always tickles me. Like, it always tickles me. But like, I always have my favorites on the cast. I always have, you know, some funny things to say about people or whatever, because, you know, I just would think that going in there that there's going to be something that happens that I'm not going to agree with because I don't have control over this. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just be, I guess I wouldn't say it would be for shits and giggles for me, but I just would have to have that, you know, I guess layer of grace for the whole thing. Like, hey, bottom line, I went on a dating show on TV. I got a little change for it, and you know, it is what it is. How can I help you? What kind of questions can I answer? Kind of thing. Right. You know what I mean? So that's why I really kind of don't understand why some of the people who don't want to do the interviews, why they don't want to do it. Because if you just stop, if you don't do any interviews, you're not going to get your side of the story out, because the producer's not about to come out here and tell us, hey, we changed this, we changed that. You guys thought they were really this, but they're really that. No. So, you know, I don't know.
No, you're absolutely spot on, in my opinion. And I also feel like, and I'm going to keep going back to this, guys. I'm not going to let this die. The idea that you would film the reunion before the show airs and people can react to that. There's so many things I would love to hear cleared up. Like, I would love to hear Chris come back and talk about the whole Lee and him situation, Christopher. And talk about all of that, because that was something that, and I want to get into that next on like some of the key takeaways that you've gotten from some of the interviews, like that we had that got cleared up from stuff that we were like led to believe on the show. That's the next question that I have for you. But, you know, case in point, why would now we won't have the opportunity? Now I have to rely on the post-show interviews because they already filmed their reunion, so we can't even address some of the things that happened on the show. I would love to see Tommy, you know, addressing like, oh, you know, yeah, you saw this happen and da 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 da. But I just feel like we're never going to get the opportunity. Thank goodness for the bloggers that are out there who are doing these interviews, or else we would never get to hear some of this stuff.
I was getting ready to say, because even if they did address some of this stuff on the reunions, they're still going to edit that. You know what I mean? And Tommy is not going to call out the stuff that needs to be called out. Some stuff he'll do right if it's right in his face or whatever, but you know, a lot of those people are his frat brothers. And so, you know, he's not going
Mm.
to do anything like that. But that's where the post interviews come in
Yeah.
clutch. You know what I'm saying? Because, okay, Chris, we're expecting Chris in his interview already to address something about Lee, not anything specific. Well, specific, I guess, is that phone call part. You know what I'm saying? Because on the show, Lee said that he didn't call her back. But then in the interview she just did, she said that she didn't call him back. And her perception of it is a little
it's not the same.
A little skewed or whatever, how she
Yeah.
thinks that he should react, because I can totally see why he would not I don't like use the word chase, but I can totally see why he would not act on that. It's what, 10 women there or 9 women, it's a few women there, right? It's multiple women there. And this one is not, I already knew of her. She already knew, you know, knows that because I told her, I texted her or whatever. She didn't hit me back. She must not want to be bothered. You know what I'm saying? I can totally understand how he would get that. But that's one of the things I'm looking forward to see his interview. But that's the thing. That's why I say that a lot of people don't like to watch the interviews. But when you watch the postseason interviews, a lot of questions are answered because it's a lot of stuff that we don't see. And welcome, Miss Genji. She says it's hard to draw the truth out of what's happening if we're not showing what really happened. That is true, and that's like a key piece, because it's like they're holding back some information of things that were actually said. They're holding back information of how a person looks, and they may not have actually came off like that, but they were able to edit it like that. Now, everything is not editing, right? You can only say that so many times, but some of the stuff is, you know, if they're taking of something you said and putting it somewhere else to give a little bit more of a salacious view, that is, you know, kind of creating a thought for the audience. But when you watch those post interviews, you're able to see, oh, this person's really not an asshole, but this is how they came off, but they can explain more of their, you know, thought process on these interviews or whatever. So that's why I like the interviews. And while we're talking about the interviews, we mentioned a couple of people who do these post interviews. One of them obviously is Kojo. Another one is Kamisha Reviews. Definitely check out Miss Sabrina Soul, because she is also a former member of Ready to Love, cast member of Ready to Love, and she also interviews them from a unique perspective because she has been in their shoes. So I love to watch her interviews because she knows which questions to ask. You know what I mean? And so I like that. And then there's a couple of other people, that Crystal XO, and there's a couple of other people who do interviews too. Maud Afro Mama does some interviews. I can't name everybody right here. Obviously, my brain just went blank. But
and those are the people that I was going to say too. Crystal XO, obviously Kamisha Reviews, obviously, you know, Kojo. But, you know, I even like people like Married 10 Years, who says her.
I love her videos too. Sorry.
I love that, because it's one of those things where, like I've said before, like I wouldn't say things that she says sometimes because they could be harsh, but they be so real. It's like, how could you deny that that's the truth? Like, she just be speaking truth. Like, I wouldn't say some of the things because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They just seem so jarring. But, you know, she be making some points. She be having mad points. And that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, speak your piece. On Miss Gingy's comment, it's hard to draw the truth out of what has really happened if we are not sure what really happened. That's going to be taken a few ways, right? Because, number one, I am noticing this season that they aren't showing a lot of what I want to see. Like, it's like there's a lack of content. So, like, I haven't seen, you know, I just saw Lee and, you know, what's his name? Quentin together on that date, but I haven't seen much from them, and so that's really interesting to me as to why she would get so upset. But I know that he's talked about dating her, so that there's that's missing. There's all the Sierra dates. I don't know if Sierra's dating, but it seems like she was after Herbert. We haven't seen, you know, it's just a lot of stuff that we haven't seen. I feel like they've either filmed those things and we've been slighted. We haven't been seeing them.
I mean, because think about it.
Story they're telling them. These are the people who are here.
Because think about it though. think about it. Like, it just makes so much sense to me. You're filming these episodes. Basically, the episodes aren't being filmed as episodes. They're just being filmed as footage that they're grabbing for the day, right? You may have 12 hours from this day. You may have 13 hours. Somebody has to go through all of those things with the storyline in mind, or the few storylines in mind that they're thinking about, and they have to go and see what footage they have and what footage they can put together, right? Whatever, maybe they have the footage, maybe they don't, and then they can only fit it in 40 something minutes. So it's a lot that we're missing. And so that's why, to the people who are not interested in the interviews, but you like watching the show, if you're cool with walking away with whatever thought that production wants you to think, hey, more power to you. But I am nosy, and I like to really see if they really did these people like that, right? Or if this person is really like that, or what really happened on here. And a lot that you wouldn't think comes out in these interviews. So I don't know. Like I said, the people that we named to do the interviews, I feel like y'all should check out. Miss Gingy says we haven't seen much of Leah. Oh yeah. I mean, we don't know. That's why we'll be shocked when they get to the end and this person, has been dating. Oh, they were on the phone with this person all the time. Well, why did they leave that out? Like, why didn't they tell us or whatever? Who knows?
That part of the story.
I would like to see. I guess I don't want them to get rid of Ready to Love, but I really would like to see them film behind the scenes footage of how they put the show together.
Hello. Sometimes I feel like they don't.
Some of those conversations, some of those meetings, and I don't know. Because as you're watching the show, it's hard to remember that somebody is on the other side holding the camera, right?
Yeah.
When some of these things are said that they're saying, some of the things that are happening that are disrespectful, that are caught on camera, somebody else from production was present. Whether they have any power or anything, like somebody knew that this happened because they got the footage. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's all very interesting to me. Like, yes, it is entertainment. But then I would wonder, why is production setting these people up like this? It's not everybody, but it's like sometimes they really do people bad. Like, and then you got them out here all up in arms and mad at people who are just watching what you guys put together. But I digress.
No, you don't. You're
still
hitting
here for it all, though. I'm still here for it all.
I'm still here for it all, too, but you're hitting the nail on the head, because one of the things that I often get confused by is when people say things like, oh, production had us film it twice or 3 times, or we were out there for a minute, or production came to me and told me to say this. And I've heard that several times throughout the last few seasons when people are on dates, like starting back from DC when Corey was on there and he was on a date with perhaps Mumin. Don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe was that the same season?
Yeah.
And she
loved him some Mumin.
And she was saying that she had to say something that production told her to say. Lee said that this last interview she did with Crystal XO, that production told her to say one thing that didn't make any sense when she was on her date with Chris, and she went along with it. And I mean, of course, you're probably going to go along with it. You're not going to be like, oh no, I'm not saying that or whatever.
But it's something crazy or whatever. But yeah.
Well, it didn't make her look like the smartest person, and that's what she was saying in the interview. It's like, oh, when I said that, it made me look like this, and I can't believe this and this and that. I guess you don't really know. You're just being fed lines and you're saying them or whatever, and you don't know how they're going to put them together.
But that's the thing. Like, you already know that part. Like, you're there and you've been told to do it.
So you're confused as to why you have an issue with anybody taking away what they took away from something you took part in production of.
We're just looking.
Like they stole the footage. You participated.
Like, we're just looking at the end result. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
What you mean? This is what you served me. Right. It's like, why would you get mad at me?
You put this on my plate. Like, so anyway.
I'm consuming what you produced and I'm telling you about it. But
I gotta watch that interview. I didn't watch that interview.
Well, it was a good interview, but there were some holes there. And
yeah, I watched I think I watched Kojo's recap of the interview, but I didn't watch the actual interview, and I got to go back and watch that. So
yeah, and no hater shade, because I think everybody went through the process to the best of their ability. There were some things that sort of contradicted each other, as far as, when she was saying, that she wanted to be pursued, but she was not responding back to a call, or like a text message. And then there was something else that came up too that I was like, well, how does that make sense when you just said this? So there were some things that didn't really line up. But then this is, again, the opportunity, like, because I have not, dare go on a show like this where I kind of have to see myself play back to myself, right? So I think there is a little bit of, seeing something in yourself that you're not aware of for the first time and reacting to that. So I think, that has to happen too. But at the same time, I don't know, some of the stuff she said just didn't add up. Like, I got where she was coming from, but that's not what, what we saw. And again, like we just said, it's a produced show. But if you participated in the production of it, of course, this is the takeaway we had, because it was it was produced to come out this way, right?
It just cracks me up, though. Like I said, I would not, say if I made an agreement with somebody, or I got into like a contract with somebody, and then people on the outside were like talking about the bits and pieces that they saw, I just wouldn't be able to direct my anger to them about how things look. I would be looking at the people who,
like, why did you do this again? But there's an agreement, right? Because it's like, hey, we're producing this show. However it comes out, it comes out. I would imagine that there has to be some conversation around that. Like, look, we're just here to do whatever. We're going to characterize you, and you're going to just look crazy at times. But
I don't know.
I don't know.
But at the same time, it's like, come on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Shout out to Ish J Dub. I was talking about you earlier. Hey, J Dub.
Hey, J Dub.
So yeah, Blondie Monique said she was confused by some of the things she said. Yeah. So anyway, my point is, if you only watch the show, you probably will have, I don't know. If you only watch the show, hey, that's your judge. I'm nosy. I like to see the postseason interviews, and that's kind of, that's kind of where I am with that. But I'm still here for, what they're doing, and can't wait for tomorrow's show, because tomorrow's show, what is it? Is it the men that get to meet the women's best friends?
Yeah, I think
I'm all the way here for that one.
I've already heard some commentary on people's like wigs and just different things, and I'm ready to see what that's about. But honestly, I just have to reiterate that, like, watching the bloggers and the back behind the scenes interviews and stuff is really what keeps me coming back to the show, because otherwise some of the stuff just wouldn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when I was watching the show without the backstory, you would be telling me things and I'd be like, really? So that's what got me into this, because I was just like, no way, like, here's what I'm seeing on TV. Like, certainly they're not lying. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. But it's like, dog, if you only knew. So that's what kind of got me into it. But it's incomplete without it. And in fact, this is what I was daring to say, and I didn't think about it like this until I'm now putting it like this. It's daring to say this, but just the way that people could watch the show without the back interviews and the backstory and people coming on and saying things, I could probably just watch the interviews and be more entertained. I'm just being real. I could probably just watch the interviews. I'm not going to do that anytime soon, but it would be fun to just watch the interviews and reviews.
You know what?
I'm not even watch the show.
You could just watch the interviews and the reviews and get by, because you got different perspectives, but you got enough people that are talking about it to get the real gist of what probably happened. And then let's not forget about the motherfucking chat, okay? If y'all don't know, when you're watching a YouTube video, I hope you know this. You can, because sometimes people watch it on the TV and stuff like that. I even can see my chat on my TV. But when you're watching it, these YouTube recaps, you need to be looking in the comments from time to time just to see what's being said, because the chat, okay?
Chat is live.
Be knowing some things, okay?
Chat is all the way
live. Depending on where you at, the chat is just hilarious. So anyway, that's for my people who don't watch the reviews and recaps. Yes, we all saw the show, but when we do the recaps, me and my sister do our recap, and I see Blondie is asking what time we go live on Friday night at 9:30. So
9:30.
minutes after the show goes off, we go live with our hot takes from Ready to Love. But the thing about it is, you watch the show. Yes, you have your opinion, and me and my sister do our recaps. But we still watch other people who do reviews and recaps because people have different points of views, and sometimes it's like, oh shit, you know what? I didn't even think about that. What I don't do is I try to record mine first, which is why I'm so glad we do ours at 9:30. Because if I watch a whole bunch of people, then I'll just be like, is this my thought or their thought? So, but anyway, but oh yeah, let me say that too. I shouted out It's J Dub. He also reviews Ready to Love, Married at First Sight. He does regular lives, like where he'll talk about hot topics, and then he has some other things that he will he'll dress up in character sometimes or whatever. Shout out to him. But if y'all want a good laugh for the recaps and somebody who keeps it real, It's J Dub is going to give you that that where's my word at?
Perspective.
It's going to give you that perspective and that experience. That's what I was looking for. So shout out to him. Also, shout out to Mocha Mima Media. If y'all don't know, she does hot topic shows a few days out of the week. She just got finished showing Trump turning himself in or going to the airport. So definitely check out Mocha Mima. Fourth quarter was in the house. Yes, fourth quarter. You guys that like sports, this is the podcast that you want to watch. It's a podcast that is actually, they're not on Spotify. They're just on YouTube, right?
I think they're everywhere.
Okay, well, This is fourth quarter. You like sports. You like to see people talk about the Sweet 16. Football season just started. They about to start talking about that. Like, they be breaking down the drafts, NFL drafts and stuff like that. For all my sports heads, follow fourth quarter. All right, shout out to them. Anyway, had to do that quick little.
That was great.
Anyway, so what are you looking forward to next week? Like, we know that I guess the men had the power this week. So the
men have the power this week. Let me switch back to this, even though I hope nobody's there. I like this because you could kind of see who's left. And I like the shots of the men's and the ladies' lounge because we kind of get to see like what we're working with here. Another thing that was pointed out was that what's his name? Philip from this season. That his I didn't even switch back to the right thing. Sorry, this is what I meant to do. What is his name? I think his name is Phil from this season that likes Aries.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody pointed out that his ex was a white woman. Right now, I wasn't gonna say nothing about that because we were just not gonna even worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I also heard that some people don't even believe that was his real.
Yeah, that was like a friend or something that he brought on. I've thought that about people in the past.
Yeah,
like that wasn't your real person.
It's possible. Like, I mean, because we don't know these people.
But also, like, that would speak to like his dateability factor. Like, if you can't bring on an ex, which is really what I went in on Jeffrey for last year. Mm-hmm. I'm not last year, but last season. It's like you can't produce not one ex out of 3 children, out of all these past relationships, even if it wasn't a father of one of your children. You should be able, someone should be standing up forth and saying like, oh, hey, listen, I'll tell you,
but that's the thing. Okay.
In my opinion,
Jeffrey said that she didn't want them involved, right? But then what if he just knows that he could never bring any of his exes on TV or he would have been completely embarrassed? I'm pretty sure they have like, how you go to some restaurants and then it's a really nice restaurant. Well, back in the days it used to happen, whatever. And they have like suit jackets there for the people who didn't come dressed right. Okay, you need a jacket to come on in here. I'm pretty sure they got some like situation like that for the people who don't have exes. Like, oh no, my ex will come tear shit up. Okay, well then you can pick from this envelope. Like, I wouldn't put it past OWN to do that. So, well, I understand. People, like even some people's cousins from some episodes, I'm like, they all look like they weren't related. Nah, but Who knows? Who knows? But I mean, I guess that just proves that you can't tell who dates who. Like,
No. Okay, let me go back and just dig
is
into
she
some of
white
that.
though? She might be like,
Somebody said that too, but it's just like, yeah, she looks really white. If she wasn't, that would be.
I mean, yeah, but
she looks really white. But it's fine with me. Here's what I'm saying. So a cousin is different than dating. If you are not able to produce one ex, and you have situations with everybody, like ashamed of every ex or every ex is crazy, that's gonna tell me a little bit about you and your decision
yeah,
making.
but see, they're not
So I
going to
need
tell
to
you
know
that.
that too.
You're not going to know that.
Well, I would know that by way of lack of you don't have an ex to produce.
Nobody, listen, the only people that probably, if that does happen, the only people that probably know that is production and the person. Like,
I would, or I would assume that if you cannot produce one ex, then your ass must be crazy. I'm just.
But you wouldn't know though. They're not going to tell.
I wouldn't know.
So Jeffrey, there was somebody else. I feel like there was one other person throughout the seasons. Maybe there have been a couple more that didn't have any exes and they just don't include them on the dates. But if the case was, I can't bring none of my crazy ass exes on TV, then I'm just gonna pick from their envelope and nobody knows because they're not gonna tell the girls that they're not meeting real exes. But in a previous season, it was kind of known that somebody wasn't somebody's ex. So I don't know. I don't know.
If you got to bring on a fake ex or you can't produce an ex, then I'm automatically going to assume that you have some issues that need to be worked out. You know what I'm saying? Like you bringing on a fake person that is not sure, and he could. Okay, look, I ain't saying this is not for me, everybody. This is for the people in the back. Okay, what I'm saying is you had to produce an ex after this, and look, he didn't know all the stuff was happening with Quentin and the white girl comments and all this stuff, but like. Not only could you, let's just go with this, right? Oh, that wasn't his real ex. It was somebody he got to play the role. You picked a person who's a white woman on a black dating show. So if that's an ex or a fake ex that you chose, then what does that say about you? Everything that you're doing is a decision. And you're on a dating show and you're trying to get shows. So you better choose, right.
I mean, yeah, it is a conundrum. I mean, that might really be his ex. You know what I'm saying?
Also, I feel like this. Cynthia from last season brought her ex on, and he was a little bit borderline too much.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Wait.
Was it Cynthia? I'm trying to think if maybe I got her name wrong. I think her name was Cynthia.
I'm trying to place her name. Who is Cynthia? What do you mean? Who was her ex? Oh, tell me who her ex was.
Cynthia. Okay.
Cynthia. Cynthia.
This one right here. Remember her?
To me, reminded me of one of the dudes she was dating. But okay, so let's read Miss Gingy's comment real quick. She says, since they get to choose who they bring on as an ex, they will be fools to choose an ex who will blow them up. Now, that is a great point. However, we all remember LJ from the first season of Miami. Or
yes, I think it was
LJ came on there with an ex, and they were still sleeping together. Now
they were not an ex.
Would have been so smart not to bring somebody who's going to blow up his spot and say that. So I mean, it is a catch-22. It's just like we don't know if a person has really joined the cast because they're looking for love, or if they were just asked to join. Like a lot of people have in the past. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So It's just, like I said, it's entertainment and we just have to kind of draw from it what we can. And if you want to get real information, you have to actually go watch these people when they do their reviews. Because that's where you're getting, other than that, you get what you get. Yeah. But Blondie said that was from somebody said, I think that was, what am I doing? I think that was said about someone on the DC season. I couldn't get the sentence out for shit. Yes. Somebody did say that about somebody in the DC season. And so I mean, like I said, like even when we go back to the first DC season, Sabrina even said on her post interview, Sabrina Soul, she came out and said, let it be known that somebody was dating while they were dating on the show, and they weren't supposed to be dating outside people, and they had a whole girlfriend outside of the show. So So those are the kind of things you find out when you watch the post interviews. So, you know, that's all I'll say about that. I mean, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show. We're going to be live at 9:30.
Yes, I can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm excited because I'm really looking to see. So it's the men's chance to meet the women's friends, but it has to be their time to eliminate, right? Because last week a man was eliminated. Am I wrong?
No, Kira went home last week, right?
Oh no, I don't remember.
Who went home last week? I thought it does seem like it's been a long ass time.
I don't remember now.
But I feel like Kira went home because we were saying that they still kept Sierra. So this week the women should have the power and the men should be going home. So that's why they're meeting the women's friends. And the friends look like they about to bring it. You know what I mean? If
the women are gonna decide. Yeah. Okay.
Because if listen, y'all know how y'all friends are. I know my friends and family would grill the hell out of somebody if we were on a show. It would not be. Not be pretty. But so the friends look like they're gonna hold. You know, Chris specifically has a little moment where her friends, I think Jessica's friends, are asking him what wifely qualities or wife qualities does he think that Jessica has, and they edited it to look like he's stuttering and can't come up with nothing. So I want to see if he really has something to say other than the physical attraction part or whatever. But the friends look like they're not playing. So
we get ready to see. And friends know, right? Like who's not everybody, but like, because I remember that one show we were watching with they were on an island. They had to choose the pods. You know what I'm talking about? Nick and them. They had to be in the pods.
Are you talking about Love is Blind?
Yes.
The one where they don't see each other?
Look, I remember on that show, I was thinking to myself that like, friends should know, but some of those friends weren't friends.
That's true. That's true. But you know what? You have to listen. You got to know that. You know what I mean?
You got to just know that in life.
I wouldn't bring nobody that wasn't close to me into something like this, because if you're actually helping me make a decision, then I don't need you to be real, a real friend or whatever. But yeah. So I don't know what other shows. It's a lot of shows that are coming up now that we have to get back onto speed, like Housewives. We gotta watch. Yeah. Also, I found out Ultimatum just came out with the season 2. So that is the one where we was talking about how they're really good at matching people.
Yeah,
they have a handful of people. They have 5 couples, and somehow they match them so well that there's multiple matches there for people, and they end up switching partners or like picking a new partner. So anyway, we'll talk about that. I'll say how that goes. If you haven't watched Ultimatum, I'll explain how that goes. But they do really good on that show, picking whatever they do for a background check or personality check. They
compatibility got on that show is just whoa.
So that, and then there's also another new show. Mocha talked about it on her show. She said she's going to review it, but I don't think she's done the video yet. But I think it's called. I watched the first episode of it. I think it comes on Tuesdays. It's called The Love Experience. I might have the name wrong, but it's about 3 friends who it's like a real live dating app. They got these dudes in there, and it's called The Hall. They got the dudes in there. The 3 girls come in, and they got to pick 3 guys to go on a date with. But then they get a chance to like send a guy home and go back into the hall to pick more men. But it's really interesting. So the girls on there are cute. So I'll do a separate video about that. But Mocha said she was gonna talk about that too. So look out for that on her channel as well. But yeah, we got to catch up on our shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But this is really fun. I can't wait to watch Ready to Love tomorrow. But we're gonna ready to incorporate more shows again. And yeah, this is fun. I don't know who's going home tomorrow. I don't even have
a prediction.
I have a prediction because it's too few people left.
Yeah, and I really am ready for some solid couples to come out.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Please.
We're getting close to the getaway, and then so I don't know. I don't know. It is. Blondie said it earlier. She said something is off about this season, and I agree with that. I meant to read that comment. It's like, okay, we're waiting for some couples. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that they're doing a lot on social media too. So it's like, we already get to see a lot of them or whatever. I don't know. Because like the first couple of seasons or the first part of the seasons, like they would be under wraps until the end of the show. You know what I mean? So, but now it's like as soon as it comes on, before it comes on, they're out here. So maybe it's that, but I don't know. I just don't see any couples right now. But I don't know, y'all. I don't know, but we're definitely gonna be back to give our hot takes tomorrow from tomorrow's episode. I don't know. You have any last words?
Yeah, I do feel like Phil and Aries are a couple, and I feel like I felt like Janelle and Q were a couple, Quentin, but also I don't know if I saw behind the scenes or something them do like a yoga thing. There's something peculiar there too, but again,
the only ones that's sticking for me is Aries and Phil, and that's really it. To me, like,
again,
I don't feel like
though, there's so much that we're not seeing.
That's true.
So there could be couples forming in the background, like what's happening with Sierra and Herbert? Is that a thing?
I agree, Miss Gingy. Like the only ones that are
to me, Lee and Q could
right
be
now,
so far ahead that we just don't know, and we just haven't seen it.
Yeah, as far as what they're showing us right now, Aries and Philip are the only ones that I see. Like, okay, it could be a toss up for anybody else because we'll see how this Friends thing goes.
Yeah, let's see how this goes.
A lot.
I'm curious about this. I want to see.
Even when they met these exes last week, so much came out in that episode. Like, oh my God, like who are like they've been dating these guys, but then we got total different pieces of information about these guys that we really weren't paying attention to at first, that weren't in the forefront. So it was like, hold up. So I don't know. People might be rethinking it, but like Miss Gingy said, all I see is Aries and Philip right now. So we'll see what happens and see what man goes home tomorrow.
Yes. Oh gosh, I can't wait to see. This is gonna be funny, and I hope they don't pull on Okie Doke and be like, next time I'm ready to love. They better send somebody home tomorrow. Look, I want blood.
I know, right? I hate those cliffhangers too, but I feel like we might be.
We're too far along.
Nah, but okay, so they used to do this irritating thing back when I think they were in DC. They might have did it another season too. It was like they would go on these breaks. It would be like, oh, no show this week. It shows next week. It's like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. Yeah, they haven't done that yet this far or whatever. But we might be in the vicinity of a cliffhanger because we did have a cliffhanger a couple of shows ago. And it could be another one that comes up right now. So I don't know. I don't want to jinx it though. But
yeah, Tommy and his curveballs and them and their fuckery. I'm just gonna say it.
Okay, so let me read these last comments real quick. Blondie said a man goes home this week, and Mocha said, I hate for this to be Kamisha City and it's a bad season. Listen, shout out to Kamisha as well, because I think Kamisha went to go interview Kira at her house.
I saw some of that.
Shout out to her for boots on the ground in Dallas. She's doing her interviews in person. I love it. I love it, Kamisha. But yeah, I gotta go watch that. But Mocha says, yeah, I hate that too. But maybe they do 2 seasons in every city, so maybe the second season is gonna bring it. Okay, I heard good things about the people in the second season, so they can redeem themselves. They can redeem themselves. But yeah. So anyway, that's all we got, y'all. We're not gonna hold y'all up all night, but we will see y'all tomorrow at 9:30, right after the show. Well, not right after the show, but 30 minutes after the show goes off, so we can talk about it.
Yes.
Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you check out the content creators that I mentioned that were here tonight. Mocha Mima Media, It's J Dub, Fourth Quarter. Shout out to all of those people and the people who will come back and watch it in the replay. Get in the comments below and let us know what you think about our video. All right. We're out of here. Peace, everybody. Peace.